All right, CT, I want to show you this interesting tweet we saw from Paul Pabst of the Dan Patrick Show. Tweeted the following. Who would you put in the Hall of Fame first, Devin Hester or Steve Smith Sr.? I'm going Smitty, 89 Steve Smith on Twitter. The future Hall of Famer, we do believe Smith, responded with this tweet. My vote is for D. Hester first. He deserves it. So, CT, do you think Hester not only belongs in the Hall of Fame, but should go in before Smitty?
First of all, I'm so surprised that Steve Smith would say that Devin Hester deserves to get in before him, because when I think of Steve Smith, I think of a guy who doesn't bite his tongue, who's 100% authentic, and is always to remind you how good he is. So to say another guy deserves to get in before him has me very surprised. I would personally put in Steve Smith, though, before Devin Hester because he played the wide receiver position. Hester, his calling card primarily was special teams. He was great at special teams. We've discussed it before. Devin Hester deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. 20 special teams return touchdowns. Nobody has ever done that. But when you look at Steve Smith and the 5'9" frame, I'm just a little partial to the small guys. It's not about the size of the dog and the fight, but the fight inside of the dog.
Right.
I mean, this guy was so passionate about the way he played the game, played with a chip on his shoulder. When you look at the numbers, 7th all-time receiving yards, 12th all-time in catches. His numbers are there, Hall of Fame numbers for sure. And then the length of time he did it. He was in the league for 16 years. Steve Smith did it for a long time in Carolina before he went over to the Baltimore Ravens. Hester only been in the league about 12 years. And special teams, although it's key, you're not impacting the game consistently,
right,
every single down on offense the way Steve Smith did.
Yeah, this is a really tough question because I do believe Steve Smith is a Hall of Famer and belongs in there. I certainly believe Devin Hester is. Hester is the greatest at what he did.
True.
And I don't think Steve Smith was the greatest wide receiver
Not
ever,
at all.
though he's certainly one of the greats in the game. So
maybe the greatest under 6 feet?
I can get down with
Okay.
that for sure. So if we make that caveat, then it's hard to say. I guess you go with the guy who produced the better raw numbers, which was certainly Steve Smith. But the fact that Devin Hester almost changed the way the game is played. I mean, the kickoff rules were changed. You saw guys kicking out of bounds more often when he was back there. I think Hester...
You going with Hester first? It's special teams. You get to impact the game a lot. But what, 3 or 4 times a game, maybe?
But he's the best to ever do it. Best ever. And Smitty, I think, is the best under 6 feet. But that's not a caveat I want to throw in for the Hall of Fame. So Smith's going in. Hester's going in too. I don't care who they put in first. They're both going to be there.
guys.
I know.
That's what it all comes down to.
I get that.